The struggle is real. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. It's real. The struggle is real. It's real. Nigga, we make deals. Make deals. Nigga, we do kill. Do kill. The struggle is real. Nigga, the struggle is real.
Hey, Blazebodyz, what's happening? Thanks for coming back. Well, look it's 5 weeks into the new year. In the last couple of episodes, we've been talking about the getting on a plan, having a plan so you can be successful and not end up being like the so-called New Year's resolutionists, which are all pretty much gone at this point. At least they are in my gym. They have fizzled out. It's only the true and dedicated like yourself who are there. But they're burnt out, and as we discussed in the last segment, there are reasons for that. Now, let's just say, and I hope I'm right, that you came up with a plan like we talked about. I'm going to use myself as an example. Now, first of the month, first of the year, as I do every single year, as I've been doing for as long as I've been involved in weight training, I set out a plan for myself to diet down to a particular time frame. Now, again, I said don't use that word diet because diet would associate, first of all, like I said last time, the first three letters of the word diet is die. And that would interpret a time frame, the typical so-called term diet, but you need to have several time frames. You need to have several goals. So let's just say this. I have two particular goals in mind that's coming up in the next 8 to 12 weeks. And I will, of course, establish a couple more after those are accomplished. So there's really an ongoing goal going on all the time. But the first two that I need to accomplish are, one, I'm going on vacation coming up, if all goes well. And then, of course, the big birthday coming up. We'll talk about that in another segment. We'll talk about that. That's a whole different story. But anyway, I set out a particular goal for myself for the two upcoming events. I established a set amount of calories daily. In that particular amount of calories, I established a certain amount of ratio of macronutrients, which comes to that number. I agreed to myself to do a certain amount of cardio a day and abs, which, by the way, I never do. I never do cardio and abs because I'm a firm believer in staying as best in shape as you can all year round and not having to rely on cardio. But I will say this, the older you get, the more important cardio is. Now, again, I say that for health reasons. I've said it, I've adamantly said it as long as I've been involved in this business, is that cardio is very overrated in relation to fat loss by itself, but in conjunction with a very strategic plan of eating and, of course, weight training being the majority of your work, the majority of your exercise, cardio can definitely help out in the fat burning process. It's not the end all or be all. All right, I'm getting off track here. So I personally have set a certain amount of goals ahead. I am sticking to a certain amount of macronutrients and in turn being a certain amount of calories, and I'm doing some extra cardio and abs and some other muscle groups that I promised myself to do more of that I should be doing, and I am now doing them. And here it is 4 or 5 weeks later, and I've dropped about 10 pounds, 10, 11 or so. But I have hit a sticking point. I even though I'm doing everything right, even though I've systematically have tweaked the way I'm eating every week, even though I've been diligent about sticking to my cardio and my abs and my other muscle groups, even though I've been killing it harder and harder on the weekends with my big workouts, I've hit a sticking point. I dropped about 10, 11 pounds, and now my body's fighting back, bouncing back and forth between 3 to 5 pounds, sometimes every other day. Now, I know I expected that because I've been at it for a while, and I know, and I from just training people for competitions all this time, and people in general, I know that that's normal, and I saw it coming. Now I know what to do, but the average person, the average New Year's resolutionists who go gung-ho from day one, first of the year, and start doing tons of cardio daily, they start starving themselves, they go all gung-ho, and then 2 weeks later they start burning out and they say, F it, I'm not doing this anymore. That's what happens to them. They don't understand or realize what goes on in human physiology. What's happening is your body is adapting to what's being thrown at it. It's completely normal. It wants to be comfortable. As soon as you start engaging in losing weight or losing body fat for that matter, from the get-go, your body will immediately start trying to go back to where it was. We talked about this a long time ago, being your biological set point. It's like your biological thermostat. It wants to go back to where it was. It doesn't want to be lean. It doesn't want to be shredded. It doesn't want to be rips. Or just in general weight loss for that matter. The average person, female or male, trying to lose weight, as soon as you start dropping, your body wants to go back. I've told you this before. For every 1 pound you drop, you got to hold that off for 5 days so your body can reset. So now I've hit a sticking point. Now I know that I need to start making some changes. It happens to us all. It doesn't just happen to everybody. I mean, 50 years of my life, 40 of it has been doing this, and it still happens to me. The problem is a lot of people think that once they lose the weight, that's it. They don't have to do anything. Wrong. You're always going to have to keep pushing forward. You're always going to, it's like going against the tide. I use this analogy a lot lately. It's like swimming in the ocean and you're going up against like a big wave coming at you, and you're going against the wave. And if you keep paddling stronger, and you have some weeks where you're killing it, some weeks you just don't have it, and you're just pushing, and the weight loss comes off, and then it comes back on, and you got to keep swimming harder. If you stop swimming, you're going to go out to sea. So you're always going to have to keep swimming. It's always going to be like that. And the older you get, the harder you got to swim. I'm serious. You can't, I hear it all the time. I see it all the time. These people, they lose weight, and then that's it. That's it. They're like, that's it. I lost the weight. And they go back to eating normal. And what happens? They put the weight back on. And then they get aggravated. Like, why can't I just lose the weight? Because you're always going to have to push forward. It's a lifetime thing. It should be a lifetime, life-changing thing for you. You shouldn't diet just for a short term or a small period of time. You should eat clean all the time, and it will, even when things are going great, even when you're doing things the way you're supposed to be, your body's still going to want to go back to where it was. It's a constant fight that never ends. And I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just being real with you. You're always going to have that battle. So if you're on a competitive level, or I diet year-round like I'm competing, I'm always struggling. I'm always trying to keep my weight down. I'm always trying to keep my body fat down. It always tries to creep back up. I'm always trying to fight it back down. To the average person, it's like that all the time. You can't just lose 5-10 pounds and then that's it. and the weight just never comes back, it's going to come back. So I guess the moral of our video here today is that, as we've all heard before, the term "the struggle is real." The struggle is real, and the struggle will never end. You got to keep swimming, and you got to keep swimming forward hard. So get on a plan of attack and get things in motion. Get it down, plan it out, get down to where you want to be, and then change things up. We'll talk more about that in the next coming segments. I hope all is well. I hope you guys are all sticking to your plans. I'm sticking to mine. I'm killing it. I'm going into phase 2 here in the month of February for myself. And we'll be talking again soon. We'll see how it goes. All right? I'll see you all guys later. Crush it in the gym this weekend. I know you got your gym back now. They're all gone. Plenty of gym for yourself. Lots going on. If you happen to be watching Chronicle this evening, it's February 4th. Try to get on Chronicle 7 o'clock tonight in your local area. My friends from Stay Positive Apparel, CJ and Tom, they're doing a segment on them. And very proud of those guys. They have a great thing going there, and they're doing some good things for the promotion of a cure for cancer. All right, I got to go. I got some asses to kick. I'll see you guys all very soon.